Okay, so now we get to our filter. So I'm going to run through the operation of the filter, the different settings on the filter, and how to backwash the pool, which is something that needs to be done about every month to keep your filtration media in a clean state so that your filter works properly. What you'll find is all the gunk that goes through your filter gets caught up. We have a glass media we use in these, the filtering process builds that up within the filter box. And what we need to do occasionally, which we think about once a month, depending on the amount of debris in your pool and also depending on the pressure you're getting on your gauge, you can check when it's time to backwash, and the backwash process will allow the water to go a different way and clean out the filter media. So to start with, to work this, to work the backwash, to move the dial on our filter, we need to turn the pool filter pump off. So that enables us to move this lever. So you'll see at the moment we are in filtration mode, and that's where you'll have and need to return the lever, the paddle to, after you've done any other operation. The normal mode is filter, when you're filtering all the junk out of the pool water so it can clean the pool water. So the other ones we have here, and to move this I push the paddle down so it's out of its housing, and then I can swing it around to whichever place I need to put it onto. So our options are waste, and you'll see here the waste sends the water down our waste pipe, which ends up going down to our sewer, and we'd use the waste pipe if, for example, we've had heavy rains, our water's too high in the pool, we need to drain some water, and so what we do, we flick it over to waste, we turn the pool filter on and we run it until the pool water level is correct, and then we stop the pool pump and go back to filtration, and that's then dropped our water level to wherever we needed it to be. The rinse mode. Rinse is part of the backwash process. So after we've backwashed, which we spoke about, the backwash down here, and after we've backwashed we need to rinse. The rinse enables the final cleanup of the filtration media to stop any gunk going back into the pool after we backwash. So once we backwash, we must rinse for about a minute. Normal backwash is for about 3 minutes to clean the media, and rinse for 1 minute. What we're doing today, we'll just do a short backwash because this one's already been backwashed recently, so there won't be a lot of gunk in here, but it'll show you what you need to do. Normally 3 minutes, but you can see through this dial the water coming through, and we'll be able to tell if it's clear and then whether it's okay to stop the backwash. The other setting we have here is recirculate. Recirculate allows the water to come in and comes into our top valve and then returns back to the pool without entering the filter. There's sometimes you'll put chemicals in the pool where they ask you not to have the pool, allow these pool chemicals to get into the filter until they're fully mixed into the pool water. So to do that, you might run it on recirculate for 4 hours, mix in all the chemicals, and then flick it back to filtration. So that's the recirculate. And then there's a closed. Here the closed is for when you don't want any water coming into this valve at all and you're completely closing down the system. So that would be for maintenance purposes and you know, when there's work happening within the plumbing system, which is not going to be used by clients, won't need that close button. So let's go to our backwash operation. So here we go, we push this down, the paddle, swing around onto backwash, and we come over to our chlorinator and we push manually on. That's going to fire up our pump. I set my timer for 3 minutes so I can monitor it. You can hear that backwashing now, and we can see the water will start coming through here. I'm keeping an eye on the time. You can see that water getting a lot darker there. You can see the dirt coming out. And that's all running off to the sewer now. Backwash and rinse both also send the water down the waste pipe and into the sewer. And we're just going to watch this clear glass here until we can see it clear up for 20 seconds or 30 seconds before we switch it off, so that we know that we've got all the gunk out. And this hasn't been left for long, so if you leave it for a month, it is going to get very gunky coming out of here. You'll have a full 3 minutes probably to be able to clean it properly. Still got some coming through, clearing up a little bit. And the whole time we're doing this, our water level on our pool is going down. So sometimes even before we backwash, we might want to fill the pool up with water to make sure it's topped up. Definitely after this, we need to fill it up and make sure that it is topped up. So that's come back pretty good now. You can see that's pretty clear, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to turn the filter off now. So we can see the difference with our water quality coming through here. I now need to, we didn't do the full 3 minutes, but you'll probably find that you will need to if you've left it for a month. I'm going to go down with the paddle again, around to the rinse, and we don't forget to do our rinse. Now, while you're doing all this operation, really good not to get distracted. Don't answer the phone maybe, don't walk away. If you leave your filter pump running with backwash or rinse going, you are going to empty your pool really quickly. So don't get distracted and walk away. Come back 10 minutes later because you'll have half a pool left. Maybe 3/4. So here we are on the rinse. I'm going to turn it back to manually on, and away we go. And that's just going to give it a quick rinse out. Normally I'd just set this for 1 minute on my phone again. And we have a look at our water. Our water quality is very good there, so I'm happy that our rinse has worked. So I'm going to do a little bit less than a minute, but that's all good. Normally if I've done a 3 minute backwash, I'd do a 1 minute rinse, but I've done a bit less backwash and a bit less rinse in this case. I'm going to flick it back now to filtration. So always must remember to put it back onto filtration, because if I leave it on rinse or backwash, what happens when the filter pump comes back into operation? All our water's going down the waste pipe and going to end up in the sewer instead of in our pool, and we're in trouble. So back to filtration, and the way I can often tell, the other way I can tell whether I need to backwash is through this filter gauge. So I'm going to just show you how this works. I'm going to run the pool again now on filter, and you can see we get a pressure reading on this. So what we do, we check our pressure reading. We have the pump running on high. We see what our pressure reading is, and we've got a pressure reading there of about 50. So we know that we've just backwashed our filter. It's running at its maximum efficiency. This is a pretty new filter, so this is as good as it's going to get. So when it's running at 50 psi, I know I can mark that on the filter book and keep it as a record. That's running at its optimum. When that pressure rises and rises through the debris and the junk in the media, blocking the flow, I know that once I get too high, I need to clean out the filter media with the backwash. So if I'm on 50 now, if it got to 70 or 80, it'd be time to give it a backwash. So if you get 20 to 30 psi above your optimum psi, it's time to backwash. So in this case, 70 or 80 with it reading at 50. So that's about it for the backwash and for the filtration. That's how the filter works.